truth is that when you see it, you can't unsee it.
Truth. In this video, Naval Ravikant will share 15 of them that I wish I saw before I made $5 million, hired 50 people, because it would have saved me a lot of money and time. Here is the first one.
Don't be so easily influenced.
Really?
Yeah. Think for yourself, decide for yourself.
Alright, but that's easier said than done, right? So how do you avoid being influenced by untruth?
Be very particular about what you take in.
Eat the truth like you feed your body. Quality over quantity. Be very particular of the source. But does that now mean that we can rely on the source like Naval, who often speaks truth?
I think you have to remove the person from the theories.
Remove the person from the theories. And consider listening to people who speak with a higher truth density. But what is truth density?
There are things that have a greater truth composition than others. You just have to get away from this binary thinking of true and false. So there are things that are more true and there are things that are less true.
Or how I like to say it, truth is like water. It comes in different levels of purity. And reality is incredibly complex. Only our labels are clean. So the insight here could be that most wisdom comes from understanding how true rather than if true. But then does that mean you should not believe Naval's words?
But it means take no one's word for it. And I love that. Take no one's word for it. So I think we are encouraged these days to take in knowledge, pour it into our heads like a bucket. We regurgitate it and we use fancy words to cover up what we don't mean or what we don't know. And I don't accept that. Unless I understand something at its core fundamental level, I don't understand it. And then beyond that level, I get bored. I don't care to understand.
I agree with the insight here that fancy words are where experts hide from simple questions. Jordan Peterson. But then how do you figure out yourself?
How much do we really figure out ourselves, right? There's what are the different kinds of knowledge? It's worth thinking through, right? I'm just thinking it through with you. So there's knowledge from direct experience, right? You experience something and that generates knowledge inside of you. There's knowledge that you pick up from other sources. You're just a vessel, it's passing through you, picked it up, you synthesize it, you regurgitate it. There's knowledge that you create, which is rare. I don't know if I said anything original.
Interesting. Knowledge we create, we synthesize, and knowledge from direct personal experience. Well, the latter is more important to me because it often leads me to those realizations that I can't unsee. Even though Naval emphasizes the third one, knowledge creation, which reminds me of the visual I design. If you want a new idea, read an old book. But why do we and Naval not say much original?
I don't know if I said anything original. If I were to look back, I would say that the only true knowledge I have is the knowledge that is directly verified by me and fits in with the other pieces.
Well, the truth I hear is the more you around, the more you find out. And if you want to know more truths that I find in my life, in my business, from the experiments I do or the things I experience, then you can read those in my 2-minute email that I send every week. It's free, but only for serious people. Anyways, why isn't it bad that you don't say anything original? Is it even possible to say things that are original?
What matters is truth, not who says what or where you lived or what book you read. What just matters is what's true. And that you can figure out for yourself. And you can figure it out just as well as me. And you probably have. Your core experience of your awareness, same as mine. Every emotion you felt, I felt. Every emotion I felt, you felt. We're human. No human experience is alien to us. So we can have all the same feelings and thoughts, just at different levels and different bases.
Or how I like to say it, we're all looking through different windows at the same sky. But then does nobody really know anything?
We're all always growing up, right? We're all always on this journey of self-discovery, this single-player game where we're alone inside, but yet we're deeply interconnected because we're all having the same thoughts, the same emotions, the same experiences with maybe different interpretations, often the same interpretations.
The great trap is to believe that we are alone and lonely individuals. But that's a topic for another video. Why is truth so important?
Make sure you truly understand it and that it is true. Truth is the most important thing, because if you're going ahead with falsehoods because they're convenient, you're just going to walk around bumping your head against reality and wondering why it hurts.
I like that. Not knowing the truth is like walking around bumping your head against reality, wondering why it hurts. But then what the heck is truth? Listen closely, I find this very insightful.
If you can't figure something like that out, exactly where you are, exactly when you are there, then it's not true. The truth is not something that's going to live in a certain region at a certain place at a certain time and has to be told to you by a certain person in a certain way. That's not a truth. That's just another experience. So anything that, because the whole point of spirituality is to be freed of the monkey mind and to be at peace in the moment. And so it can't be reliant on anything outside. It can't be in the future. It can't be in a different place. One of my problems that I have with all religions is this idea idea that like, oh, this is the word of God and it was passed down through this book. Well, okay, well, what if I didn't speak that language? What if I was born at the wrong time? No. Any fundamental truth that's spiritual has to be accessible to every human at every time, in every place, regardless of language, culture, religion, age, gender, whatever, or even physical being. Like you could have mental retardation, you could be crippled, you could be dying. You should still be able to see and find and experience that same truth on your own. Otherwise, if it's brought to you from the outside, if it's temporal, it can be taken away from you. And so I think the best path towards truth is understanding, because when you deeply understand something, you're not going to un-understand it. It's the nature of truth that once you see it, once you learn it, you don't unlearn it, because it's true. Truth is indestructible knowledge in your mind. It can only be replaced by a better truth. It can only be replaced by, oh, okay, that truth wasn't complete. Here's another piece of the truth that I was missing. But in that sense, truth cannot be destroyed. It can only be overruled by other truths. So if you find some understanding, then that can be with you forever.
Four truths here. You can't unlearn truth, because that means it was false. If it can be taken away, it wasn't truth to begin with. But also understanding can't be stolen, only deepen. And if you need to be at a specific place to be at peace, it is not peace but temporary pleasure. Truth is like water. It works the same everywhere. People, books and videos like this can't teach truth, only point to it. Which leads me to the question, do people actually want to know the truth? And is enlightenment just not another concept or pleasure chase?
I think we all want to know the truth, and there's little truths and there's big truths and there's bigger truths. And this is probably the biggest truth, right? And I did cheat. I skipped to the end. I looked at the answer. Might have been a mistake, to be honest, because the point is not to earn a PhD in enlightenment. It's to actually be enlightened, right? And so I don't know exactly how you get there. There doesn't seem to be a copyable path, but I'm still fascinated with it. My mind is still circling the drain on it.
I'm fascinated by it too. So I created this video where Naval will share 12 really deep insights that he got from his PhD in enlightenment. It's one of the best videos in this series. You can watch it here or not. Talk soon.